And also, I hope you will attend. I just got like the okay that we're going to do a nice activation on campus. Star FM. This is on the the station I'm working with right now, and we're going to campus. Hopefully, you're going to come, yeah. And there's going to be an outside broadcast. We can interview you. Just come in and show us your savvy, yeah. Okay, because you are going to be on campus out next week.
Yes, but so what we will be doing exactly?
Oh no! So we just from our side, the station's going to do an outside broadcast, so you can actually. So it's with Burger King. There's giveaways and there's all this the great stuff. You know when it is. You know outside broadcast work with stations. You know. So there'll be yeah. So hope to see. I'm actually forcing my class to come. So they can come and have a good time, take a bit of a bit of a break. Um, I say from class itself, just have even a conversation with the station manager and some of the DJs that might be there. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me start with this. So we're going to start station. This is station imaging and marketing, right? So specifically, this is kind of it's not really the last lesson that I'm going to do. There's going to be the last week. Next week we're going to do like purely purely in studio. Does that make sense? Like purely show. You have to do your dry run, so you can actually run the desks again, and I'm gonna put it out on the WhatsApp group as well. Sorry, I have to turn. Yeah, the sound has to just be on. Sorry, there's someone I'm expecting a call from. Not that I'll take it. I'm just saying that I need to be able to respond to them and say I'll call back later. Okay, but anyway, as I was saying, so the thing is that what I'd like to do is that have you in your groups, come in and then throughout the week. Do you understand? So have proper, let's say, like an hour and a half, hour and a half, hour and a half, hour and a half, to be in studio and then again kind of run like mock shows, just for that hour, I would say. So get kind of ready and then, I'm saying for the half an hour and then broadcast. So I'll put that out so you can get ready for. Otherwise, I can continue with content which I believe is not going to be. Man, I'll tell you why. I'm saying to you why it's going to be a little bit ineffective. I'd rather leave it for the virtual classes for the last week, which I know is going to be more focused on like the podcasting and just kind of getting you ready for the F2. But again, lessons around podcasting, just once again to refresh and to refine yours. Um, yeah, so just kind of get ready for that. I know that you're the only one I'm saying to you right here, but right now, but I know that you obviously want to just keep tabs and obviously be on top of your classwork. Okay, okay. So let's chat, and then I'm going to take you through this lesson. So the pros of radio. Again, the advertising, in terms of advertising, people always I think have the perception of, and we also sell it to a certain extent, about how just advertising is quote unquote ineffective just because of the fact that people normally switch stations, or they just don't. They put it into their subconscious. They passively listen, but actively passive listen when the spots come on. Um, and in doing so, like, I mean, the only reason why they would tune into another station is if they have already been built into a habit that they know that the station particularly does long spot breaks, like 3.5 minute breaks, like long stuff. Like, let's say when you're watching on DSTV, like DSTV does long advertising breaks, and so if you're watching DSTV, you will tend to change the channel to something else and then come back to it and probably won't have missed much. You understand? The thing is, again, that's kind of how we train our listener. The shorter spot breaks are always better. But the thing is that the sales team and the radio station are greedy for money, right? So they will rather overload the spot breaks should they have people coming to them and say, or they're getting deals and saying from the sales, marketing, PR department, to put that in, shove that in, and they'll just like air it as much as they can. The thing is that it is still effective. The thing is, advertising works in subconscious, like obviously in subconscious nature. Um, so the more that you hear it, so as you will listen to, let's say, a certain hour of the day, like when you are putting it, like particularly in a certain point in the day when you just can't do anything else. Um, I'm saying like when I say can't do anything else, I mean, you want to do something else, but it's like a kind of like a menial task in a way. For example, let's say you're cleaning, or you are cooking, or you are getting ready for school, or you are commuting. You understand, where you can decide that this is a fresher option today or another day. Then let's say just listening to a music like music playlist that you put like of yours or whatever it may be, or however it is that you decide to choose to like enjoy some kind of recreational media. You understand? With advertising, it does work because if it is consistent, that's the main thing. And we taught that like in one of the first on air lessons that we did, like I think about easily like a month and a half ago, where it's that repeat, 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 repeat. And the thing is that again, also to say that people one trust the medium again, so that the medium is as trustworthy as parts of television and print, depending on the format of that particular print, that it is not tabloid or whatever it may be. But still, anyway, advertising, like let's say, like we say, the Daily Sun, even if they advertise, someone would check. It's not like they're lying, even if it's a tabloid magazine. So I'm saying a newspaper. Anyway, the thing is that we know that when we do suggest advertising and we approach advertising and then we make it's like it's a long process. A good sales agent or a sales executive will have they will have introduced themselves in some other kind of way. They would have done an informal meeting, a meet and greet with a potential client that they want to do big sales on. So, for example, they want to run an activation. They want to get some something, so like a substantial amount of money, from the hundreds of thousands to, if it's a sponsored, I'm saying, show, like I said, for the top 40, that's about 6 months. So we're talking about, like, say, 2-3 million easy. You want to be able to, like I say, really put in a lot of effort and understand their brand at the end of the day, so that they know that you have investment, right? Again, sidebar. Why I'm saying that is the more often that, for example, let's say a sponsorship, right? You will hear the adverts in the spots, their live reads, and their whatever it is, frequently enough for you to be brainwashed, because that's what advertising does. It doesn't mean that you're a weak person. That's how advertising works in the subliminal. The other thing is that when we look at like advertising just in general, it's basically about like matching the need of somebody listening, that your service or your product or your brand provides. So, like for example, if you have to look at let's say, banks that will advertise on radio. Again, normally any brand will advertise because they are promoting something new. Do you understand? Like a new, like I say, like some kind of new service that's within them, products that are on special, new products that have come in, like a winter range of clothing. Again, and then all the kind of pushing the benefits of, so if you are if you have an account with, then you can get, I don't know, an extra 20% of this or whatever it may be. They want to push certain things, especially because it's new, one. Two, they need stock to be sold, because it might be perishable or whatever it may be, right? Or it just will go out of season. Or three, they're not doing that well, I'm saying to you, and they need to kind of like repunt and revitalize that particular service or whatever it may be, right? Also, like a startup company that is private. I'm saying to you, when I say private, it's a small company, a small business. that might be fighting against kind of giants would like to go into community radio stations and be able to offer like at a much lower rate. Do you understand? I'm saying that the station will give them a much lower rate for a higher amount of adverts. So, like, let's say, for example, again, we've decided, in terms of again, Star, like we're giving, like, for example, for 6,500 rand, you can get 29 like spots. You understand? Which is quite a lot. It is a community commercial station. It's got enough listenership. It's got its 43K after, like I say, a year and a half. That's really big. I'm saying to you, in comparison to community stations in general. And so the thing is that and no one is aiming for the Vodacoms right now. I'm saying to you in that we want to be able to look at the small businessman, woman, small businesses in general, high schools in the area, whatever it may be, right? And be able to offer them something with a bank in specific, right? Like, you must also know that you must understand people's preferences. Okay, you can hardly, like, for example, like a bank, you can hardly sway someone from going one bank to another just because of the effort that it takes. You go and you create, obviously, like, you go and you open your account, like, you understand there's a lot of bells and whistles to like, in terms of where you get, let's say, paid, your salary, what debits come off, and credit, I'm saying, debit orders or whatever, everything that happens, it's quite a long process to dedicate yourself to a bank. But when you choose one, it has nothing to do with, let's say, what even your family might say. Oh, well, I mean, your dad banks at ABSA, your mom banks at FNB, like your sister banks at Nedbank, but you want to go to Capitec, for example, right? Like, it is one of those things that in your life, which one is best suited for you. But it will rarely ever happen that one bank will sway you to another, right? Cars, a little bit different. So we're looking at, let's say, things that are often advertised, like, for example, like I say, cars are always advertised. Like, someone that can't afford the car can't afford the car. You can't get them to even be interested, like, even if you're the best advertising, like on earth. It's about understanding who you are selling to and whether they have a need for it, right? So there are millions of people, I'm saying, in this country, and there are a good couple, like a good massive handful of those that currently are looking for new or used cars, right? So again, it's about knowing your audience and what they want, but also giving them the option of knowing that those things are for certain. Like, that's a certainty that we know about people. We would go and, let's say, we'd look at, let's say, I'm saying, car dealerships that have got great offers, service. I'm saying service plans. I don't know, like balloon payments that are massively reduced, that avoid the inflation, especially now. Anything that focuses on, like, saving money, especially because of where we are sitting right now as a country, like, that is going to tend to get the interest. If you've ever looked or seen someone try to look for a car, it becomes endless as well. Like, you go to one dealership, you go to another one, and you go to another one, and you go to another one, and you go to another one. Kind of like when you're looking for a house, in a way. But the thing is that it becomes never ending. So what you want to do is make sure that you understand, let's say, the listener and what they're going through right now. Rather just give them an option that is a great option, you understand, and they just go immediately for that. Even though they have the world of options around them, right? Other things, like, for example, that are practical, like, so to, let's say, go, I'd say, to Checkers, go to Pick and Pay, to go to Woolworths, or go to Spar, for example. Those are or OK Bazaar, right? Like, it's simple. Like, do you want to save money, or do you want, quote unquote, like, what people will claim to be class, which is, I mean, class and quality, which is bull for, the concept of Woolworths. It's claimed it a long time ago, but the thing is that they haven't been able to keep that up because of the fact that, let's say, Checkers in specific, like, so Checkers Hyper has made the same kind of quality at a much lower cost as well. I'm saying, to the large consumer, which those consumers were already there. They liked Checkers, they bought from Checkers, and all these added now benefits were there. Like, but the thing is that it's the price point that counts at the end. Let's not make it any more confusing than that or complicated than that. It's about what you're selling. Give me a good price. Let me come over. Let me get the membership card or whatever it is, like the Checkers card or the Pick and Pay card or whatever it is, and let me make sure that I can take care of like my money at the end of the day and my needs as well. So also a way to also maybe make sure that when you are dealing with, let's say, retail, I'm saying retail, so clothing stores, obviously consumer stores, like I say, like I say, like the Checkers, the Pick and Pays, whatever it may be, right? Or even specialty shops, or upper, I say high class or high end products, like I say, that you would find in different areas depending on your audience that you're broadcasting to. Just make sure that you sell, like sell the stuff that is going to get them there, and also look for practical stuff. So if toilet paper is cheaper, man, toilet paper is expensive, right? And the thing is that regardless, 3-ply, 2-ply, or 1-ply, like there are different people that use all of them, so all of them will sell. If you have a special on any one of them, you'll get obviously like buy-ins for that, because people need that every week. They go and buy that every week, right? Okay. For the free is the best price, obviously, right? It tastes better, smells good, sounds like music to your ears. Why all the fuss on picking a particular radio station? So never mind brand. I'm saying to you, when we are picking, like I said, I explained the whole thing about like products that we pay for, and that is an easier choice to make, even easier than I'm saying. So even the banking is easier. I'm saying to you in terms of the station that we pick it that's for free. Do you understand? Like we are very fussy because it's a personal interest that we dedicate time to, and time genuinely actually is the thing that we care about the most, because you can do a lot of things with time. You can save money, you can save energy, you can relax, you can unwind. You understand? You can do whatever you want. You can start a business, you can do whatever you want. So that's why time is more precious to any consumer than a better price, better quality, like better efficiency, whatever it is. Okay. So like just for yourself, next level is all about selling radio to clients. In effect, we have to market the stations as somewhere they want to put their money down, okay, or into. We use the figures of listenership, as you know, to understand deeper benefits of what they like and what they're using and spending their money on. Marketing radio is twofold. It's double the mindset approach, because one, you have to market your listener, but two, like those that will come to be, and we intend then to stay and listen. So for example, you might, like when you're marketing the radio station, I'm saying as a product, and people are coming because they listen to slightly similar formats, then we also got to consider like that type of thing, the listener that's there, and to make sure that we're taking care of them, as well as then obviously the new listeners that will come in, so we can increase obviously our listenership, which means increase in sales just in general, and our rate cards, and so on and so forth. Come back with two clear different mindsets that you used to present how marketing differs between the two of them. How do you think? Just a snap question. How do you think, like both the new listener that you want to get and the listener that you already have, what do they have in common? Which is quite an easy question, I'm saying to you. It's quite a straightforward question. Uh, Sales is about not complicating things. I'm saying to you, selling products or selling the station. What do you think the two have in common? Go ahead, tell me.
In terms of
In terms of, let's say, just what do they have in common? So think about it's a radio station. Agree that I'm saying the radio station that they're choosing to like. Do you understand? So because the listener that is already there likes the station, the new listener will gravitate to the station of because they like what they've heard. Do you understand? So they will gravitate to. So the two are not so different. It's a trick question in saying, like, how do we treat each one of them? We don't. We treat every listener as if they were a brand, like if they were listening for the first time. Do you understand? Today. And that allows us to make sure that we are on top of the quality of our content, the music that is selected, the products that we are selling to them, the competitions that we're having. Like, you understand, the full product, you understand, needs to be of, because again, you can't say, oh, just because, think of the two situations. We have the one listener that's already there. So do we treat them better, like because of their loyalty? But then at the same time, the new one coming in, don't we want to like razzle dazzle them, like kind of like really hook them in by treating them better? The thing is with both of them, we have to treat them better in general, right? So that when you're just thinking ahead, it does cross over in many different, like I say, to every aspect that we decide to, I'm saying, execute and follow an action to in radio. Without a visual component, radio obviously lacks a bigger impact that, let's say, television or even print has, because you can see stuff. Do you understand? And so, but again, radio then also has the, like I say, the added element of social media where we can, let's say, do that. But the thing is that people don't are not going to go there just to figure out what you're talking about with by looking at a picture, right? Or by looking at a reel, or by looking at an IG, like I say, like obviously live, like a live stream or whatever it is, right? It's there to complement what you are doing, right? But knowing that that is the visual component is our only disadvantage, really, because I'm saying because the other two have it, but the other two main platforms, I'm saying media platforms, like they have the disadvantage of, like I say, the real time, the personal connection, the direct, real personal connection, and then obviously and then us being able to build off that, right? Its audiences are small. That advertisers must make numerous buys to achieve acceptable frequencies and reach. That's the truth. As I said, so for example, like so let's say you're a sales executive and someone comes to you and says, I've got only a certain amount of money. Can I please just advertise in your most popular show? Like, you mustn't take their money. You must say to them, what I'd rather do is I split that let's say budget across, like let's say live reads, or let's say an advert, depending on if this is the budget, and spread that across, let's say, the daytime and let's say the night time. Do you understand? So that, and the weekends, for example, like weekend shows are hardly, I'm saying that they're hardly spot heavy. So you can give them kind of like a quote unquote, but it's not really a freebie, right? You would do that for them, because the thing is that it must reach different people, right? And then also it must be repetitive. So for example, if we do have people that are listening for quite a long time, they would hear it maybe twice in one show. Do you understand? So it would need to sit. For us to actually register, like I said, there are a criteria. Like I say, we want to, obviously it's going to be stuck in the back of our heads. How we do it is obviously up to the production, I'm saying to you, and the copywriters, right? It could be a jingle. It could be, like I say, a particular special. It could be a repetition, whatever it may be, right? Doesn't matter. But you would go and say, but you must go and convince them that because of I'm saying the small attention span. So, for example, when you're watching TV, you actually do watch TV for a much longer period. I'm saying to you, over the week than you do listening to radio. Just in general, we're talking at the metropolitan level, right? So it's a 10 to 1 more likely, because also you got visuals as well, that the advertising might be more effective, right? And might be more appealing to, let's say, a client or whatever it may be. Adequate audience research is not always available. As you know, the BRC stats are they're flooded as well. but we give them that and tell them at different times, different quarterlies of our hours, exactly how many people, who is listening as well, men, women, this SEM, etc. So they can make they know when we make a decision for them that it is an educated decision from their side to say yes. Okay, so, features and advertising and advantages of radio. So, I'm just going to mention a couple. So, some of the primary elements of interest to advertisers are the following: radio targets, right? Because we understand them so heavily, right? We can cater towards, right? Same thing can be done for print and for television, but in a very different approach as well. Radio reaches the majority of the population several hours a day. We do. We reach the largest I'm saying majority. Radio advertising influences consumers closest to the time of purchase. So because of that real time, you could be driving. I could hear a special at McDonald's, and I'll be like, you know what? I was about to go take takeout, and I might as well go to McDonald's. I like it. It's one of my options. You understand? When I do takeout, it's this KFC, like chicken licken, whatever it may be, right? And so I might as well just go save some money and go get it from there, right? Radio reaches light users of other media, definitely, because again, because of all our positive advantages of the medium itself, that people don't just read, I'm saying newspapers, and people don't just watch TV. They include radio if they are consumers of crafts and mediums, right? So because much radio listening takes place outside the home, it can reach consumers that where they are and where other media is or are not available, right? Radio delivers consistent listening patterns. As I said, that whole repetition and the way that we structure our advertising and the spots and the way that we structure live reads and billboards, etc. Right. So radio delivers messages at a low cost per minute. Do you understand? So, sorry, I think it's a cost per minute. No, that's not right. It is actually minute, but but the minute that's a French term. But anyway, CPM is basically understanding that like it's cost per every thousand, okay, of people, right? And money wise, I'm saying, but cost per obviously thousand, right? So radio provides advertisers both immediacy and flexibility quickly. So I'll say quickly because it's a follow up. Radio research reaches customers everywhere. So it says they're at work, at home, in the car, and maybe other, right? So that's literally our lives, man. Other is when we are going out doing recreational stuff, like let's say you play cricket on the weekends, maybe you just want it. Like playing in the background, or it is playing in the background because you are at a club, like I'm saying to cricket club. If you are at a restaurant, you could be hearing a radio station. If you're in the shops, whatever it may be, right? But these things, yeah, like that's a massive thing, right? So why? Okay, so it should be easy for you to give a simpler solution that stops all the scratching, struggles, and stress every station has in getting more, retaining, and how to stop listeners from listening, right? The follow-up is obviously that. It doesn't mean everyone, right? Okay, radio is everywhere. That doesn't mean everyone everywhere is listening to us at any one time. Perhaps we'll never listen to a certain station, my station, at all. What do we do about this? Why is this important? Like in South Africa, we have, I don't know, close to 60 million. I think we've reached the mark there already. I mean, because we were on 58 million a couple of years back, about 3 years back, I think. Um, so we need to look at marketing in radio as twofold: double the mindset approach. As to have numbers, we also market the station to our listeners, and those again that will come to stay as our listeners. So it's the recap of the previous, because this is actually two lessons that are blended in one. Okay. Um, come back. Okay, so arriving to the answer you brought back. So with why would clients pay different amounts buying radio in whatever form is beneficial to their business? Okay, I'm just going to come back to this, but I just want to get to the questions. Where does their understanding of marketing your station meet in the middle with both client and listener approach? What finer details make all the difference in marketing to the client and those that are essential to marketing to the listener? So I'd like you to first attempt these three questions. Why would a client pay different amounts buying radio in whatever form beneficial to their business? I think I've explained that already, just in terms of their budget, okay, and their bigger decisions. I'm saying options, right? So they could buy only an online package, like that includes digital on the website and whatever it is, right? They could buy again on cheaper shows, cheaper times, that type of stuff, right? Depending on who it is that they also want to reach, because they would know, the radio station would know and tell them, listen, yeah, this type of listener is within our demographic is listening at this type, saying time, this LSM, etc. So maybe your money will be better spent, having there. So I know that I've answered the first one. Try the second one, because this is the thing. Where does the understanding of marketing your station meet in the middle with both the client and the listener? So this is not just so let's not listener to new listener. We're saying, where does it meet in the middle for the client as well as the listener? I'm saying, like, your marketing technique. It's quite straightforward, but just put it into some words. Where do the two fall? They the if you imagine them as circles, they will overlap one another. The needs of the client, needs of the listener.
I
I
think
think
um, like when marketing your station, like your listener and your client, they both overlapped in a form like you are doing it for uh the at the end of the day, you're doing it for the listeners. So the listeners are part of um other thingy other other bias to your clients.
That's it. Yeah, and but also remember, again, the whole thing of our marketing has to be. So what does a client want? They do want customers for sure. That's the thing. They want to make sure that the customer comes into their shop, for example. Do you understand, right? Buys their product, calls them up for a car service, whatever it may be, right? And the thing is that the listener wants the same type, wants the quality that the client, we are the ones that we are selling we're selling the promise of quality. Do you understand? Or of price, or of immediacy. Do you understand? So we stay true to what the client wants, sure, or wants to be advertised, so that the consumer can come in. If we do it correctly, obviously we're the ones to actually one make or break it. It's neither nor on both sides, because they, like I say, if there's a client, then there must be someone out there that wants what they are selling, what they're offering. So again, where they meet in the middle is us. And again, finding that bridge between, well, I mean, here it is. The client needs to be happy because they need the listener. The listener needs to be happy because they need what the client has to offer. What finer details make all the difference in marketing to the client and those that are essential to marketing to the listener? So in particular, I think I've said this, but I want to start you here. You can give me the listener. This is about the return on investment. It's about, let's say, the finer details of a marketing strategy. Like, you've got to know the product just as well as they do, right? Maybe even better, because you're the one that's going to creatively put them in the forefront of the listener's ears. You understand? to say, okay, like I say, why would I stop at McDonald's as opposed to Steers, for example, right? They're both burgers. They're both quite affordable, right? And I could just rather go there. Uh, like that, the difference in marketing to the client is to know how to guarantee them like very realistic return on investment, right? But again, also, we say to the client, we have so many listeners. We have we have the platform that you can. We offer you this package. We offer like its time, its quality, its accuracy. You understand? Everything we sign off as I'm saying, so the client can pay us, right? We've got to obviously um, deliver. What do you think? The more details, I'm saying the detailed differences is for the listener. I'm saying from our side. So taking the needs of the client, as I said, we have to meet those. What are the needs for the listener? You can go ahead.
So I'm not sure if I understand your question. What are the needs for the listener in terms of?
I'm saying to the more detailed stuff. So if you had to break it down, so we just said that the two of them have to meet. Like I said, we just said the client needs listeners, they need customers, and the customer will want what the client has to offer. Agree. So when we have an understanding of meeting the middle ground, right? Like we are responsible for making that middle ground come together. Agree? Right. Because the client and the listener at this moment are separate entities. They don't know about each other. They don't, you understand what I'm saying to you? They want to be introduced like a blind date, right? That actually works, or an organized marriage. So like here, what I'm saying to you, like, so as I said here, particularly, we have to actually look at I'm saying to the corporate side of promises to the client, and obviously, uh, again, certain processes that we do. Like I said to you, it's about assuring the quality. It's about assuring the production. It's about assuring the copyright. About targeting the exact the way that we target the correct market and understand that particular customer that they want, right? And why the customer would, let's say, why they want that particular customer. And again, the biggest thing is also like the return on investment. They kind of promise of if you spend the money here, you're going to see it in return. Does that make sense? So that's normally everything else is normally done fine. I'm saying to you because it's done professionally. I'm saying at a commercial level, it's the return on investment that's the risk. You understand? So, like in other words, feet in your shop. Like I'll start you off with the essentials of the marketing to the listener, right? You are you're taking like what you are like what you know they need in their life, and you are once again promising them like a solution. Agree, right? You're gonna promise them a solution. Like, let's say you'll be clear on what that solution is, so what it entails, where you can find it, why it is, like, what is its price, like, what and what its need is for them in their life at the moment. Do you understand? Does that make sense?
Yes, so it does make sense.
Okay. All right. Well, ask more questions. You'll see in just a moment. Let's move on. Okay. So in terms of the radio time, just selling time, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. I want to just point out this thing because the acronym comes up a lot. OOH, out of home, right? So what is OOH? What does that mean? Out of home advertising. What does that mean?
So what it was out of home.
Yeah, out of home is a very, very common, I'm saying, media term. It's normally you'll see it if you see it anywhere. I'm saying to you, it'll be OOH because it stands for out of home, but they won't say out of home. They'll say OOH. So you must need to know. So what is out of home? like advertising. That is like your billboards, agree? Like your
Yes.
billboards, there's like the pole advertising, it's a lot cheaper. We got the digital billboards, we've got I'm saying the static billboards. We have advertising that we stick across buildings. I'm saying to you, it doesn't have to be on a billboard itself. Like, you understand what I'm saying to you? So
Yes.
that out of home, right? Okay. These are other competitors again. Like, for example, like for radio, the yellow pages, right? The internet, definitely. So the cost of digital advertising is much cheaper than it is on our traditional platforms, right? Direct response, right? For example, like emails, right? Emails, subscribed groups, subscribed newsletters, that type of stuff that when you, like, let's say, go, I don't know, you always say subscribe to our letter or whatever it is, or let's say you have to create an account for something, then you're going to be flooded too. And this can also be direct responses, also SMSs you get, which we all get. I'm saying to you constantly, right, from different people. The most annoying ones are like the ones that we constantly get. Even you can block them from West Bank because they're going to give you like funeral cover, or they're going to lend you money, and it constantly comes, right? But also like I say, shopping malls will send you. There'll be, like, let's say, ones from Sir Kenny Core, again, specials at, like I say, your supermarkets, that type of stuff, and then newspapers, etc. Okay, I'm going to carry on too long because I don't think I'm going to finish then. Okay. So what about satellite technology? In other words, like your satellite transmissions, your digital transmissions. So what stations are guaranteed quality programming based on latest audience research. Radio networks bring celebrities that local stations could not afford. Small stations can obtain national advertising. Cost efficiencies of shared programming with hundreds of affiliates can keep personnel and programming costs low. And a major disadvantage that satellite brings to local affiliated stations would be that increased costs for personnel and programming. Right. It's so here it's shared programming, right, with hundreds. That seems to be, like I said, an upper. But again, it is expensive, I'm saying, to advertise at a digital transmission level. So let's say even talking about advertising for whatever reason on through our DSTV platforms or whatever it may be there. Okay. So AM versus FM. Why is it better to, I'm saying to, why is it, so these are US states. Let's talk about South Africa. Like, what is wrong with AM? I'm saying, what is the disadvantage of AM versus FM? What's the biggest disadvantage? Try.
So I'm not sure, yes.
So, okay, so all the stations on AM, if you have to listen to anything on AM, it's got a lower quality transmission. You understand? So it's I think analog modulation, and then I think it's frequency modulation, right? So the AM stations are have a much, like I say, a lower quality bandwidth, or whatever it may be. No, it's not a bandwidth because now I'm getting digital, right? The way that obviously the transmission flows, and again, where most of the stations actually started on, and a lot of the community stations are on AM. Finished. You're not going to find a commercial station that sits on FM in South Africa this day and age. So even like, for example, the biggest transition was 702. 702 was on AM forever, but because it was a talk station, like, even though you listened to it, and a lot of people did, that's why they got the FM frequency as well. Obviously, again, under Prime Media was doing well with like their 94.7s, the KFMs, whatever it may be, but Cape Talk and 702 were on AM, right? Um, a lot of factors in. But the thing is that if you have to listen to music on an AM frequency, it feels like you're listening in the 60s or 70s or whatever it is, right? So to make it quite short and not really go on about why it is better to, I'm saying, to have an FM frequency, which is what all AM frequencies fight for constantly on a yearly basis, whenever it is that the ICASA will review and review, which is constantly. They'll review, let's say, 10 requests from different stations and see whether they are relevant enough and if there is a frequency available, I'm saying, to on FM. Okay. So regardless, so that's just a sidebar. Now I want to look at this particular these three easy steps, right? In radio, like sales. So delineate the target market. In other words, we want to be able to like spot them out and push them to one side in a corner. You understand? So delineate the target market. Select particular stations based on audience and cost efficiency. So again, from saying to you, this is now I'm saying to you as a client, right? So we would then have we would go and get, let's say, quotes, like, so procurement for, right? I'm saying a client to check out obviously which stations are better, and then schedule spots, including obviously all the details in between. But questions to pose when you are buying radio space, okay, advertising space. Where are the product characteristics and benefits? Can these be relayed through radio? So we have to look at, for example, like, let's say a high school comes to you, like, and they want to advertise. What are they advertising? Like, in particular, it's not really a good match. I'm saying, don't take money for someone that can go do it better somewhere else. So it might be better for them to advertise in a, let's say, a community gazette. Do you understand? Let's say that applications are open, whatever it is. They don't need to, let's say, advertise it on radio. So there's a lot of, I'm saying, product, services, communities, whatever it is, that do not belong, I'm saying, I'm saying advertising space in radio. They belong better somewhere else. Who is the target market, and can they be reached with radio? As I say, like, what are you trying to do? Like, who are you trying to draw in? Who is the competition, and how are they using radio, if they are in other media, to, let's say, already either successfully or unsuccessfully advertise and promote a certain product, service, such a brand. So what is your basic advertising and marketing strategy, right? So that is, as we know, as we've said in previous lessons, right, that marketing strategies are done on a system, on a not a system whole, a station whole, right? And then the marketing strategies and advertising strategies will be then customized and clarified in a sub context for each client and each whatever it is situation, right? Is it consistent with radio at the end of the day? And the client needs to understand this, okay? So things that you're familiar with: SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I know that we've discussed this before, in class. I want to see if it gets to pest analysis. Just give me a second. No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. Okay. So what is the advantage of, again, just in terms of business analysis? So business analysis both for the client and for the station itself. At any one point, like, there's a reason why, again, the client is coming to you, or the station is approaching the client, and that can be analyzed through like a SWOT analysis on the situation, right? So what is it that the station is trying to accomplish, or what is it that the client is trying to accomplish? Because we've done this, especially in the first lesson, particularly with what is that, man, get his, sorry, because this is going to bother me now. Just give me a second. I just want to get his name, because I know I'll put it here. Porter, yeah, the Porter model. Yes, Michael Porter. Right. So we did that in the beginning. It's very, very it's highly covered. You also understand from obviously different subjects. Here's the pest analysis, right? Pest analysis, we also then include in addition to doing, let's say, quality and marketing analysis, right? Politics and regulations. So will new laws change the way that we have to operate as a competitor, customer, supplier, distributor, as a station, etc.? Economics. So how is the economy affecting you? Because that will obviously, again, we can work all of these to our advantage. Once you do the analysis, you can work each one of these to your advantage. Social and cultural. How are social trends affecting your customers' needs? And technological. Are you making the best use of available technology, or are you stuck in a space that doesn't really have any I'm saying to like any traffic, right? And you just are a little bit too stubborn to move over to where the rest of the world is. So obviously carrying out your SWOT analysis. Tell me what you know instead of me saying this, because I'm just assuming. Because SWOT analysis has had to. It was covered in your business related subjects, right? What do you know about SWOT analysis? I'm saying what can you remember, and what can you tell me? Just any commentary that you can tell me about SWOT analysis in general, and what you had to apply it to in the past.
SWOT analysis, we had to apply it in, I think, one of the projects was project management. So SWOT analysis is basically business related, whereby businesses or an individual uses it to measure their strengths, their weaknesses, and their opportunities and their threats in whatever business that they are, whatever business or a project that they are working on, like to like measure and compare what
And
the
also to
business
decide
outcome
whether.
might be.
Sorry, let me finish. You were going to say on.
They basically use it to like measure and compare
Mm.
their business outcome in a way.
Yeah, so within project management, I'm just saying because if you are within like project management is again, I mean, in every business, every single business will do because they run different projects at different times. So the SWOT analysis falls in within different aspects of in different parts of the cycle of like a project life cycle, right? And why I say this is particularly because of the identifying the strengths is of a situation is kind of easy because you can I'm saying to you like when you're looking at a problem, you have certain strengths that have obviously kept you afloat at this time. I'm saying to you, right? So strengths, weaknesses are the reason why you're in this situation in the first place, right? Then opportunities is what I want to say is risk management, and as I've always said, it's one of the most important parts of project management. Risk management, good risk is taking opportunity. When opportunity doesn't so a lot of businesses don't take an opportunity if the business is running just fine. An opportunity is someone that does a proactive, like that, take a proactive action. You understand? To increase revenue or increase like a brand loyalty or increase anything. You understand? To bring a better value to their, I'm saying, to their space, their product, again, their company, whatever it may be, right? Then, like I say, threats. You see, the threat, people normally, again, because risk management is about the threat. The threat is like, for example, like let's say a big competitor comes into like your smaller space and is about to steal basically all your revenue. Do you understand? The source of revenue. So the thing is that does the business just give up? It shouldn't. Like it should understand. So and that's what so let's say there's a private like it's a small business that is also like it's a supermarket. I don't know. I want to compare, let's say, like a Checkers opening up, right? What chance does the small business have if you had to quickly go through SWOT analysis for that? And then I'm going to ask you to apply it to a certain situation in radio. So let's say, what would you, if you were a consultant, or like I say, like a risk assessor, how would you, how would you then advise like this small supermarket that's been doing so well in this community so far, but there's a Checkers opening up, kind of 3, 4, 5, 7 blocks away, with the power to give you like mass production. I'm saying to you, and also obviously because of that, bigger savings on money.
This one is a difficult one because Checkers is a big brand,
Mm.
so the chances of um it's a very high competition. So I think I would just
Yeah, think out the box. Think out the box for this one, because the thing is, you can't just go to the person and say, "I'm sorry, like stop, close your business, do something new." Um, you understand? Just because you can't do anything, that's you understand. You're going to be faced with a ton of stuff. I'm saying in your career, where you'll do your own personal SWOT analysis constantly. You understand? You can't give up just because. But when you're responsible and being paid for by another person, like you have to come through for them. So what like let me just keep quiet. Just try. Like even if you get it completely wrong, I'm saying to you completely off, because that's why I wanted to offer that one in particular. I say it. Yeah, I say it because this is how I think I've told you. Like my my parents would own supermarkets throughout our lives. You understand? Because that's what Greeks did. A lot of, like I said to you, my mother can't really speak English, but she can serve customers. Does that make sense? She works hard. The thing is that, like, the supermarket at a certain stage was fine. It was putting three. I mean, say it was feeding 3 kids, then a fourth one. You understand? Putting us to school, buying us clothing, whatever it may be. Right. The problem was when convenience stores opened up. You with me? I'm saying to you, like, and when I say convenience stores, every engine had a quick stop. You understand? And every shell had a this, and every, you understand? So now the thing is that the small, I'm saying, community supermarket became it became extinct. Agree? And the
yes.
thing is, like, I watched, like, I was old enough at that point. I was in college when we went bankrupt. Like, and it was painful to watch. My parents tried everything. I'm telling you, they tried to sell booze. I'm saying to beer, like obviously, under the counter. They started a little bit of like little gambling machines in the back, like in the back rooms, like whatever they bought from Checkers to, which was at cheaper price, obviously, and then try to sell it only at, let's say, at 20 to 50 cents. Not joking, eh? Like price hike, just so that people would come there and rather just buy there, because you can obviously, you're not going to come just for Coca-Cola. You'll come and then buy your bread and your other stuff, which is not expensive. You understand? And not want to go stand. Saying Checkers is busy, man. You want to stand in a line. It's so big. Like you want a convenient. Like I'm saying to a supermarket has stuff in a much smaller. It's got everything. Do you understand that you need? What do you need that's so special at Checkers? I'm saying to you, you understand, right? So like there were certain options that like my parents had to may do something, man, but it did eventually go bankrupt because it couldn't um it couldn't compete, man. You understand? Um, like I said, tell me anything that, I mean, I told you my parents then were, I'm saying to you, they were creative, and they worked. They opened up the hours like from 5 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. That's so that they could get the traffic that came in after Checkers closed. You understand? There was a Checkers that opened, I'm saying, down, like it was, like I said, about 3 blocks down in a shopping center. So I'm saying to you, which could close at 5, like the shop closed at 10 o'clock. So you could go and find stuff. But like I say, it wasn't the Checkers that was the first blow. It was the convenience stores that are 24 hours. Agree? So I'm saying to you, like if you had to, in any way, just so let's look at the risk of, let's say, the little shop. Like let them go out strong because you know they're not going to survive. Agree? Right. How many ways can you offer them something that will make them revenue quick so that they don't work at a loss, and then they must sell that particular property to someone who wants to open, let's say, a barber shop or a, I don't know what people now open that is, you understand, that's not, that isn't, doesn't exist in a shopping center. Do you understand? um do you understand what I'm do you get my analogy? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and try. Think. So, like I say, think about, put yourself like you would for a listener. Put yourself into like that person's reality. What are their strengths? Tell me.
So I would maybe advise them to obviously maybe have specials around, and maybe offer options whereby people can buy in bulk so that
Yes,
they don't have to um go to Checkers. And
that's okay. And obviously, like you must the soft skill about loyalty, do you understand, is a
yes,
big thing. So that they have to obviously, because the thing is that also I'm saying soft skill approaches are very important. Like you are not going to, like you want to also go somewhere where you know someone. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because then, like maybe if they can't pay you today, I'm saying that you'll say, "Don't worry, can pay me tomorrow." Do you understand? You can't do that at Checkers, like, but you can do that. I'm saying with a friend. Does that make sense? Which what your small businesses will do. Give me okay. The threat is obviously complete shutdown. Do you understand? And obviously the prices of Checkers, obviously the brand that is well known and it doesn't have a bad rep at the moment. Let's say, right? Okay, we're not talking about convenience stores. I'm saying at like I say, at the petrol stations, whatever. This is in a. I'm saying to you, this is currently in a hood. Do you understand this particular little shop? Um, uh, how would you? What opportunities could you see? So the strengths, we put in some strengths there. Opportunities. I know you said that you want to sell, like an opportunity is maybe sell in bulk, which then turns that into like a mini macro. Agree, right?
yes,
Yeah, which is better because macro is a nightmare to walk around. I don't know. I don't know how people do it. Obviously, they've got money, and they've got big families. I'm just saying, like that's why you would go buy in bulk because there's perishables and there's things like that, right? Um, but that is also a good option for them to change the business and make it like I say, a mini. That's an opportunity for them. So that's a good opportunity. Um, uh, how, like I say, how about the very big obvious, which is everything has to go. You understand? So in other words, everything that is in the shop, with even new, I'm saying stock, to make sure that, let's say, like you can make a mass profit before you close the shop. Does that make sense? So you
yes,
run like a month of just like that. You can find products for cheap. I'm just saying to you, not on a black market and stuff. You can buy, like I say, you can find them for cheap. Um, but you can sell things at crazy prices, quote unquote crazy prices. The thing is that when you go into a shop, right? You don't go, you went in there to go do one thing, buy products, agree, right? You hardly know what's happening in another competitor shop, agree. So let's say people that do go to this little small business, whatever small supermarket, they see everything that's on special. They'll tend to also buy things that are not as on special as they think. Does that make sense? So, for
yes,
example, they'll buy, let's say, 2 or 3 loaves of bread, or they'll buy 2 or 3 things of milk, or whatever it is. And you'll look at, let's say, products that are like you're a little bit of a higher margin on, but could get a lot of. I'm saying to you. So there's a lot of, like I say, private. I'm saying also so private wholesalers that give you it at a lower cost than macro would. You understand? So you would use your research and say, okay, cool, I'm gonna rather do this, or I'll get that there. Okay. The exit strategy is important. You with me? Like, so let's do something a little bit easier, quote unquote, to this. Because you, like I said, we know the guy, like the best option you can give for the shop is that they sell at a profit. Do you understand? And they don't sell and they sell for a different service, so that you're not selling the shop. The shop's going to go, like I'm saying to you, and it must be sold to someone else. Um, Okay, for a different reason. All right, for radio, right. So let's just quickly give you a situation. Let's say you want to change. Oh, okay. Let's say you want to change your weekend lineup. What would you suggest quickly for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats?
We can line up in terms of like the type of DJs that are gonna be there and
Um,
stuff.
we want to change. We want to refresh the entire weekend.
Maybe opportunities could be that if like we swap,
So hold on a second. Let me start you at strengths because it's the easiest, right? So we look at, let's say, the shows that have big numbers, the top 40s, maybe the Sunday mornings, like the Gospels or whatever it is. I don't know if there is, right? We look at, let's say, the specialty shows that exist and that are doing well. Agree? Right?
yes.
So those are our strengths, right? The other strength is, for example, let's say, like we have great. I'm saying we play a lot of great music. I'm saying for longer, right? A lot more, and our listeners love that. So we're not going to change that, right? We'll capitalize on that. The weaknesses are the fact that, like, what is the weakness of a weekend shows, like a weekend lineup? What is the general weakness?
There's like less people listening than
Dude,
like your drive shows.
yes, because the thing is that people are at home and have more options. Agree, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, again, we also, that is a weakness for sure. It is. So we know that our listenership is quote unquote going to be smaller, right? Okay, assumed to be smaller. What else is the weakness on a weekend?
Um, I don't know. I wanted to say people are not really listening, so because they are busy with other things, so they're just not very
Yes,
engaged and
right. The weakness, well, I
participating.
think what you're looking for is that the fact that, like, for example, we need to analyze what people do on a weekend, right? So definitely, like in a Saturday morning, they're not actually listening to radio, as people would think. I'm saying to you, the Saturday mornings are the first opportunity. People are tired of, let's say, doing their week. I'm saying responsibilities on a Friday afternoon because it's crazy. You understand? And the first chance they get on a Saturday is they get up and they go to the shops. They do. You understand? And they
Yeah.
get everything done and they do whatever it is. Like, in terms of recreational, it's not really a threat because the thing is, recreational, they could be going to friends where a radio can be played. I'm saying to you in the background, it's great to have. You want to have atmosphere. Agree. So a radio station is always great to have in the background, whatever it is, with a cool DJ, whatever it is, great music. Kind of keep it simple. No, but it's at Saturday morning, for example, that is the most, like, it's the most misunderstood. People go and put a top 40 on a Saturday morning. Why? Why? No one is home. I'm just saying to you, do you understand? Like for up to at least 1 o'clock, people are somewhere else. A lot of people that only are weekend gymmers, fitness people, will go to the gym on a Saturday, Sunday morning. You understand? And then go home, like have their breakfast or whatever it is, and then go out to do the shopping. You understand? Um, uh, tell me, okay, like I say, tell me about like an opportunity.
An opportunity, maybe it could be that if we change the lineup, maybe if like there's a presenter that people like during the week and you move it to the weekend, the listeners of that person would move with that person to the weekend.
Yeah, if you want to get rid of, yeah, you're demoting weekday presenter. You, yeah. Okay. I would, the option is that what most stations do is they will put those that weekday presenter on to work on a Saturday or Sunday as well. Like they do in Jacaranda, like they put, let's say Alex, and he will work in the mornings, I think on a Sunday. Do you understand? Like they'll bring in weekday jocks that are very popular, and they'll add them to, because of, like you say, if you're gonna have a day, if you're gonna have a day with Alex, you might as well have a morning with Alex as well, because you trust him, for example, as a Jacaranda listener, right? Um, so that's cool. That's a viable option. Give me another one, an opportunity.
Um, can't think of anything.
What about collab shows across the day? I'm saying to you, like, if we are spending our time recreationally, why don't we have two people, like teams? I'm saying like co-hosts on shows. I'm saying to you, like, not every show. Like, for example, an afternoon show, like, and the mid afternoon. I'm saying the I say the mid afternoon. So not the noon. I'm saying to you, like, let's say the 3 to 6, for example, right? Are good options for like friends. Do you understand? So why not let's co-host them? You understand? Because then it feels like people are have like there's people are talking. I'm saying to you, they socializing on air without heavy content. I'm saying to you, but rather as, like I say, even like you're extending again, instead of just back announcing songs as people do on weekends. Why not just like maybe do collabs? Would you agree or not agree?
I would agree
Okay.
that
Do you see? Okay, name me a different benefit. Okay, so give me a different just one more opportunity. So of changing that lineup, one more opportunity. You're doing this proactively. There's no need to, at the moment, particularly. I'm saying, besides that, it is done by every other station. So you want to do something new. You understand? I'm saying to you, every other station's weekends normally look the same. You understand? So, uh, okay, I see we're running out of time. What is, let's say, the threat?
the trend could be that listeners might not like the change at all,
It could,
and
yeah. Tell me why.
because maybe why you changing their favorite DJ in that slot? Because maybe it's something that they were used to. I don't know.
But the thing is that let's say the lineup is a natural progression. You understand? I'm saying lineup changes and are natural progressions. You see them every single year, and it's, I'm saying to you, in this country. So we're going to choose. We shouldn't change the whole lineup. That's very important. Remember, I said to you, like, we must keep the certain shows the same as we change others. Agree, right? So we can introduce, let's say, new hosts, maybe, like I say, in the brunch and the lunch, for example, but rather keep where, let's say, people are a lot more easygoing. Then, let's say, in the evening, I'm saying on a Saturday specifically, a Sunday is an option to change someone. I'm saying on a Sunday, early evening. But then we'll change the other ones as we move along. Do you understand? I'm saying that once we've got foundation, I'm saying, and stability in the change. The threat is, yes, losing listeners, but we have to lose a couple of listeners to gain a lot more. That's always the thing with change, right? Um,
Yes.
and how will you manage that threat? We will make sure that the music is on point, first of all, right? What's the other thing that we normally do with big changes? We let the DJs not come out with guns blazing. Agree? They mustn't come and make statements. I'm saying to you from show one. They're coming soft. They got to, you know what I'm saying? So like quietly in a way. Um, the other thing, let's say, yeah. So what else would you do to manage the threat? In other words, manage the risk. Anything else? Get someone famous. Agree. I'm saying to you to come into the weekend. So we would look at, let's say, like a socialite or an influencer. You know, it's a good space to put them in. You understand? I could again agree, or don't you think that would be effective?
So can you please repeat your question? Something distracted me. Sorry.
Okay. Now I'm just saying to, for example, I'll give you one and we can end there. So let's say like bringing in like really famous celebrities, I'm saying as co-hosts. Like you understand, like big influencers, maybe musicians that are we turn them into presenters. Do you understand? Like that type of thing. To collaborate on these new shows, you know, so that
Yes.
we can bring an audience and attention to like through their followings and through their influence. You understand? Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. There is so I have this is a lot, I have loaded this up for you. I've asked Grant to load it up for you. 5 tips to instantly improve your station's imaging. You can go and have a look at it. It's about 4 pages. Very simple and easy stuff. Um, and then you can just I mean it's for like I say for added value. It's a really cool little document PDF file, and then yeah, we can chat. I'll see you then next week. I must just remind everyone now. I'll do it on the WhatsApp group now about next week and booking their hour and a halves. Okay. Any questions? Fine.
No questions. Say.
Okay. Awesome. You have a great weekend. I will see you